Hey y'all, I wanted to give another update. Today and tomorrow are pretty big days for me in the world of my brain injury recovery. So this afternoon I have my follow-up MRI, and then tomorrow marks 6 months since my accident. So 6 months is kind of a major milestone for really anyone who's had a traumatic brain injury, because it's truly what, like, every single one of my doctors and therapists, and there's like well over a dozen of of them now. So what every single one of them have told me, I need to give myself at least 6 months. So that's kind of the big rule of thumb for brain injury survivors, is you have to give yourself at least 6 months, and then kind of reassess at 6 months with where you're at in recovery and how things have gone so far. So I made it. We're there. That's exciting. So very happy that my recovery has gone so well so far, and it's kind of weird, honestly, kind of weird to look back on, just because I have come far, but I am still dealing with challenges. So, with when I was obviously a lot closer to my injury, I couldn't walk very well. I was very unstable. My balance was something that was very dramatically impacted by my brain injury. I was able to walk in my early days, but I was really unsteady. I basically kind of always wanted to fall over, and I remember what that felt like. And now I thankfully can walk just fine, and go up and down the stairs. The stairs here at our apartment have kind of been my barometer for how I'm doing. I remember even when I was discharged from the hospital and first came home, the stairs were difficult, especially going down. I felt like I had to really grip the handrail and almost take the step, like put 2 feet on each step before I went down to the next step. So I do remember what that was like, and now I can, practically skip down the stairs. So that's great. I feel a lot more stable, but my balance honestly is not back 100%. My coordination has also come a long way, but is not back 100% to how it was before the injury. So thankfully that is something that I do kind of experience small improvements on, just kind of as time goes by. The same is true for my eye. So if you've watched previous videos, you probably saw, like, my first video, my eye was closed. I could not open my eye at all until March, and then it wasn't fully open until late April. So my accident was on January 21st, and kind of the biggest thing that I had happened from my brain injury is I had cranial nerve 3 palsy. So my cranial nerve 3 was damaged, was most likely pinched from the brain trauma, and my neurologist did confirm that it is growing back, because I wouldn't be seeing these improvements with my eye if it wasn't. So nerve 3 is growing back, which is great, but it's not fully back yet. So I can open my eye and blink and all that's great, but the pupil still doesn't contract and dilate fully, or as much as it should, or doesn't follow in line with my left eye. And that's kind of true for tracking as well. Tracking has gotten a lot better. Being able to focus has gotten a lot better, and my pupil is dilating and contracting more than it used to, but I still have double vision. So when my eye was able to open back in April, I basically have had double vision since then. And that's something I am currently in weekly vision therapy for. So I do still see a brain injury specialist therapist every week, and we're working on vision therapy right now, and she's great. So hopefully I will get full vision back, and the double vision will go away. That's it's something that is frustrating at times, just because it's worst, like where my double vision is worst is when I look down. So walking and kind of looking where my feet are going is difficult. So fingers crossed that cranial nerve 3 keeps growing, and I get my eye kind of comes back all the way. The other thing that's unfortunately still a challenge is I have tingling on the whole right side of my body. So it's basically an extra kind of subtle tingling sensation that's on the whole right side. The only place I don't have it is on my torso. So my trunk, I don't have it. My torso, I don't have it, but I have it in my face. I have it even in my tongue. Just the right half of my tongue tingles. My face, the right side of my face, my right arm, my right leg, down to my toes, everything. So my right arm, my right leg, face, head, everything except for my torso does tingle, which is a challenge. And my neurologist said that is from brain trauma and could be permanent. So that was certainly a hard thing for me to hear, just because that's the first time I've ever had any doctor or therapist say this could be permanent. So hopefully it is something that I could fade, but will likely take a long time. I am on a wait list to try hyperbaric chamber oxygen treatments. So in hyperbaric chambers, there is a facility nearby that has had great, have been other brain injury survivors who have had great experiences and made kind of giant strides in their recovery because of the hyperbaric chamber oxygen treatments that they went through. So I'm on the wait list to try that. So maybe that will help. If nothing else, it's not going to hurt me. There are a lot of benefits to it. So I'm looking forward to trying that next. And just kind of internally and mentally, what I've been going through is I do feel further away from my injury now, which is great. Again, because I can walk no problem and balance more or less no problem. But the tingling and the double vision does kind of sometimes make me feel like I'm in a different body, basically. Like it doesn't feel like my body that I had for almost 35 years before my injury, so sometimes it does feel kind of foreign to live in this body. And just because my daily experience is still very different from what it used to be. So that's kind of just something I'm going through. And I work with therapists and I'm in a support group. So I have tons of support, which is awesome. And it's fine. It's just kind of an interesting thing to be going through because it's, when I was sort of closer to my injury. So a few months ago, it was any improvement gave me like so much excitement and hope and positivity, which is all great. And I'm still very happy and thrilled and proud of how far I've come since 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago, but it kind of has, I've kind of have had more space to kind of try to get back to normal, but not being able to fully, and kind of what that experience is like, has kind of, it just frankly has been interesting. Some days are more challenging than others. So anyway, so that's where I'm at, but all good, hopefully. So my MRI is this afternoon, and hopefully my brain looks normal. I have sort of mentally prepared myself that this was a brain injury, and because I do still have symptoms related to basically brain damage, which I hate to even say, but I do expect that a little bit of sort of brain damage will show up on the MRI because I'm still experiencing symptoms from it, but hopefully it's very small. Hopefully it's very anything that they do see is very minimal. And then I am also getting an MRI of my eye specifically to see if there's anything else going on that we just maybe didn't know about before. Again, hopefully it's what's going on with my eye is just from the nerve 3 palsy, and because the nerve is regrowing, it'll all come back. But they're gonna get in there and really get as much information as they can just to make sure. And again, that's because I had facial fractures immediate because of the accident, the impact. So when I fell, the impact was here, and because I had facial fractures, they just want to make sure that there is an extra bone hanging out in there, or just something else that maybe we didn't know about before. So yeah, just crossing my fingers that the MRI goes well, and made it to 6 months, so that's great, and just hoping for more recovery because again, I'm very happy to be where I'm at, but there are still challenges. So I'm just hoping that it keeps going.